What is going on YouTube? It's Andy back again from the underground. Today we're taking a look at the Bulletproof Fitness Solo Stand Deluxe. So I actually picked this up recently earlier this month on their early Black Friday sales, and they only ran that for a few days, but now they actually brought it back for this weekend. So thankfully I already bought mine. It was $319. However, shipping, I think it was about $100 extra to my doorstep. So it was overall, it was like $419 shipped to my door. I got the Solo Stand Deluxe in a white color. I thought it would match my Isolator, as my Isolator is white as well. They're both glossy white, but they are a different shade of white. So anyways, this is just the unboxing portion of it. It comes in one gigantic box, and this box was pretty heavy. I think on the box description it says it was like 32 to 45 kilograms in weight. Anyways, a lot of these pieces are pretty unique in nature. I assumed the Solo Stand Deluxe was just going to be a bunch of like uprights like meshed together, but this is actually designed really well, and it has like these nice ports that you can kind of tighten together and just use like hand cranks just to get it all together in one go, and you don't need like any additional hardware or anything. And as you can see here, I'm just like setting it all out in place, and you can see the legs of the Solo Stand. They have like this nice mechanism where it can fold in and then you can like roll it around. However, I probably won't be doing that much, just because this is primarily going to be for my Isolator to have its own home, and I just wanted to test it out and see if it was a good fit for my Isolator. As you know, right now I have my Isolator on a additional power rack, and it does take a good amount of real estate on there. However, I don't mind it just because that power rack isn't really my primary rack. And as you can see here, here's a close-up of the pieces. This is the centerpiece, which holds the main upright, and then here are the legs of the Solo Stand. I really like that it has like 4-way holes, and they are offset as well, so it makes things really convenient for adding like accessories or whatever else that you have to put on the rack. And assembly is pretty straightforward. You just want to take off the knobs that are in the center column and then align it with the legs. As you can see here, I didn't really need any instructions just to get things through, as you just basically put together the legs and the bolt carriage for the Solo Stand, and then bam, it's complete. The middle upright has a different kind of mechanism where it needs a bolt, and then you take off that bolt and then you insert the upright and then you put the bolt back in and you just tighten it with those hand cranks and whatnot. And the overall build quality of this piece is I think it's just really nice. With the powder coat, it looks like it's all over these pieces. So on the inside, I could see that there's like white powder coating inside of the metal, so that it's not just bare metal and then it'll rust over time. I actually considered getting the tri-post rack instead of this Solo Stand at first. However, I come to quickly realize that the tri-post rack, it was about $300 in shipping, so it would have been over $1,000 just to get to my door. Both of the Bulletproof racks have really high shipping cost. However, I do think they are worth it if you are in that ecosystem. If you're not, I probably would never get a rack like this one or the tri-post rack. And here we are just taking a look at the middle piece. As you can see, the middle piece of the Solo Stand is a little bit different than most uprights. It's curved at the bottom to have like that edging so it can go up and down. As you can see here, I'm just adjusting it and making sure that it's aligned with the holes so I can get the bolt inside of it, the one that flips the upright up and down. And as you can see here, there's pop pins on the side and in the back that will hold the upright up in place, and you can tighten them to make it where the upright is a lot tighter from my experience. And a big issue that I've seen or have thought about with the Solo Stand is that this upright could be slouching downwards towards the feet area. However, When using this thing with the isolator, I actually haven't really noticed it bending down towards me. I do have the pop pins like really tight, and I do have a UDA that I did dips on this solo stand with, and I think it works really great. There's not a lot of bend on the upright as long as you have everything nice and tight. I do like for the solo stand that it is pretty mobile and that you can move this thing around by just folding up these legs and then bending down the upright, and then you can just wheel it around. However, I don't think I'll take advantage of this capability a lot, as my gym is pretty static in terms of moving pieces. The only time I ever move anything in my gym is when I get a new machine and I need to make space. But with the solo stand, I'm glad that I can kind of put it anywhere in the gym. It sits nicely. It could probably sit on one of these deadlift platforms if I really wanted it to. Okay, now getting onto installing the isolator onto the solo stand. The orientation that I first installed this isolator onto the solo stand is the exact same one that I've seen in Bulletproof's marketing videos, so I had it in the same direction. I've seen other people use the solo stand and the isolator and set this isolator up where the weight arm is in the back of the solo stand. However, I just stuck with the way that I saw the Bulletproof videos have it set up, and to me it works fine. I will experiment with the weight arm in the back of the solo stand, so then maybe it's a little bit different of a feeling, or maybe it's more stable. But anyways, I find this position completely fine, and here I'm just setting up all the pieces on the isolator. It's a pretty quick process just because the isolator is pretty light when all the pieces are taken apart. And as you can see here, I'm actually going to set up my isolator on the solo stand to do leg extensions as well as standing leg curls. I find that these two exercises are just really easy to switch in between each other, especially for the leg extension. You have the arm in the same starting position as the standing leg curl. And as I'm doing this voiceover, I actually forgot to get the length, width, and height of this thing. The dimensions are not on the website of Bulletproof, and I think it's because this is like a newer version of the solo stand, but I will put those in the description down below. So anyways, this is the full look of the solo stand with an isolator on it. As you can see, the isolator and the solo stand whites are not the same. The solo stand is more of an off-white, where the isolator is more of a glossy white. And next, we're about to get into the demo of the isolator on the solo stand, and this is in real time. I didn't speed it up or anything. I just hit my leg with the isolators, setting up preacher curls. But if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and let's get on to the rest of the video. These are the 3 big exercises I think of when I think of the isolator: the seated preacher curl, and then I'm gonna turn it into a leg extension, as well as go into a standing leg curl. So going from the preacher curl to the leg extension, all you do is you want to pop this pad out, you put it in the lower bracket or hex port of the isolator, and then you just adjust up. And this is in real time. This is how long it actually would take me if I was switching it during a workout. And as you can see, it doesn't take that long. However, I do find, a lot of people probably aren't that patient and will get pissed having to fiddle around with this thing. But to me, it's not that big of a deal. And at this point in the video, you're probably wondering, is the Solo Stand Deluxe worth it? Yes or no? And in my opinion, it's more of a nice to have than a essential, because you could do everything with the isolator on a power rack perfectly fine, and you could live without the solo stand. Is it nice to have a home for your isolator? Yes, but I don't know if it's worth the cost for a lot of people. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Alright, and we're getting into the end of the video. I'm gonna let this demo play out. I'm basically just gonna be showing you standing leg curls after the leg extensions. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, stay tuned, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. And I forgot to say, if you are in the USA or anywhere else that celebrates Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to you. I hope you have a great holiday. Peace out.